जाना नहीं।
The first word denoting the genus start with a capital letter, while the specific epithet start with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. Name of the author appears after the specific epithet, that is, at the end of the biological name, and is written in an abbreviated form. Example, Mangifera indica Linnaeus. It indicates that this species was the first described by Linnaeus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all the living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. The process is classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. For example, we easily recognize groups such as plants or animals, or dogs, cats, or insects. The moment we use any of these terms, we associate certain characters with the organisms in that group. What image do you see when you think of a dog? Obviously, each one of us will see dogs and not cats. Now, if we were to think of Alastians, we know what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were to say mammals. You would of course think of animals with external ears and body hair. Likewise, in plants, if we try to talk of wheat, the picture in each of our mind will be of wheat plants, not of rice or any other plant. Hence, all these dogs, cats, mammals, wheat, rice, plants, animals, etc. are convenient categories we use to study organisms. The scientific term for these categories is taxa. Here you must recognize that taxa can indicate categories at very different levels. Plant is also form a taxa. Wheat is also a taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dogs are all taxa. But you know that a dog is a mammal and mammals are animals. Therefore, animals, mammals, and dogs represent taxa at different levels. Hence, based on characteristics, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is taxonomy. External and internal structure, along with the structure of cell development process and ecological information of organisms, are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic studies. Hence, characterizations, identifications, and classification and nomenclature are the process that are basic to taxonomy. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of organisms, particularly with a reference to their own use. In early days, human beings needed to find source for their basic need of food, clothing, and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the uses of various organisms. Human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more about different kind of organism and their diversities, but also the relationship among them. This branch of study was referred to as systematics. The word systematics is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organism. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematics was later enlarged to include identification, nomenclature, and classification. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. Taxonomic categories. Classification is not a single step process but involves hierarchy of steps in which each step represents a rank or category. Since the category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called the taxonomic category. And all the categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Each category referred to as a unit of classification in fact represent a rank and is commonly termed as taxon, plural taxa. Taxonomic categories and hierarchy can be illustrated by an example. Insect represent a group of organisms sharing common feature like three pairs of jointed legs. It means insects are recognizable concrete object which can be classified and thus were given a rank or category. Can you name other such groups of organisms? Remember, group represent category. Category further denotes rank. Each rank or taxon in fact represent a unit of classification. These taxonomic groups, categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregate. Taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum, or division for plants, class, order, family, genus, and species. All organisms, including those in the plant and animal kingdoms, have species as the lowest category. Now, the question you may ask is how to place an organism in various categories. The basic requirement is the knowledge of character of an individual or group of organisms. This helps in identifying similarities and dissimilarities among the individuals of the same kind of organisms as well as of other kind of organisms. Species. Taxonomic studies considered a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as a species. One should be able to distinguish one species from other closely related species based on their distinct morphological difference. Let us consider Mangifera indica, Solanum tuberosum, potato, and Panthera leo, lion. All the three names indica, tuberosum, and leo represent the specific epithets, while the first word Mangifera, Solanum, and Panthera are genera which represent another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called tigris, and Solanum includes species like Nigerum and Melangina. Human beings belong to the species Sapiens, which is grouped in the genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human being is written as Homo sapiens. Genus. Genus comprises a group of related species which has more characters in common in comparison to species of other genera. We can say that genera are aggregates of closely related species. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but both belongs to the genus Solanum. Lion, Panthera leo, leopard, P. pardus, and tiger, P. tigris, with several common features, are all species of genus Panthera. This genus differs from another genus Felis, which include cats. Sorry for the background noise.
तू कहीं हार के कांटों पे